had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So then I'm doing IT, and when I go to plug the servers in, they become sentient, and they won't let us access our network unless we forward their chain emails and memes to more and more and more people, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant finds and invites best fit candidates to apply, so you can discover talent you may have missed. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Victory Drive. This week, we got on Garret Babcock from Find a Way Outdoors. Garret Babcock, he's a great dude from Pennsylvania, and he makes some pretty sweet mouth calls. He just sent me some in the mail. I've been testing a few of them out, getting warmed back up for turkey season. So, pretty solid calls so far, I'd say. So I'll give you more feedback on that once season gets kicked off, and hopefully I can kill a gobbler or two or so, however many. Well, I got my brother and nephew going out too, so hopefully we can get like at least 2 or 3 birds down between all 3 of us. That would be pretty sweet. I'm not exactly a guide, but I try my best, try to get new people out there and doing this thing that we love to do so much. So, hope you guys are all enjoying your spring so far. It's been fucking solid weather. Been actually pretty shitty, but it's starting to look up, you know. So this weekend going into it'll be Iowa's second season, looks pretty solid weather-wise, like 70s and 80s on Saturday and Sunday. That is nuts. I'm not going second season, though. I go fourth season. That's my jam. That's what I've had the most luck in. That's kind of what I like to do, get more time out there in the woods, and it's generally a little bit better weather later in the season. But sometimes I get a little shot up, too. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm pretty excited about it, though. Hopefully you guys are all excited about turkey season, because I've got some really good turkey content coming out to you. And it starts off with this, with Garret Babcock. So I hope you guys are ready for turkey season and are getting amped up. All right. And, you can find your way outdoors and check them out. Find a Way Outdoors and check out some of his calls. So here we go. Like always, this podcast is brought to you by Grizzly Coolers, the leader of hard-sided coolers, I would say, and also soft-sided coolers. They make some really nice soft-sided coolers, some obviously very nice hard-sided coolers. That's kind of their bread and butter. Everyone knows them by. But their drinkware is also getting pretty known, especially in this area. Seems like can't really drive around or go anywhere when someone doesn't have like a Grizzly mug with them drinking some coffee or some rum and coke, whatever you want to put in that their little drinkware that they sell at Grizzly. Let me go with this real quick. I love Grizzly for the simple fact that they do a lot for their surrounding communities and for Iowa. They do a whole lot of like Iowa branded gear for their drinkware and all that stuff. And it's really cool to see them kind of give back to the state that they reside in. So if you guys are interested in a new cooler, new drinkware, whatever you need, check out Grizzly Coolers and use code WCB for 15% off. Also, we got Black Ovis. Black Ovis is your one-stop shop for everything outdoors gear related. They've got hunting shit, archery shit, camping shit, footwear, all sorts of stuff at blackovis.com. They also have a whole lot of shooting stuff. You need some shooting sticks or, tripods, bipods, whatever you need there. They've got all sorts of fun stuff to peruse about. And when you're getting ready to check out, use code VICTORY at checkout to save some coin there. We've also got Mountain Ops, like I always say. If you're sick of being a fat fucking piece of shit, then check out Mountain Ops and try to get less fat. Check out some of their supplements, whether you just want to get generally healthier or you're looking to get back in the gym. Check out Mountain Ops if you want to take that first step forward and get back in better shape so we can continue to do what we love to do for longer. So use code VICTORY at Mountain Ops to save some coin at checkout there as well. Also, they do a lot of shit with like Conquer Hunger, saving people, making them less hungry, all sorts of good stuff with Mountain Ops. They're just great people behind that brand, and they really enjoy giving back. So that's pretty much all I got for you. If you guys don't mind, you want to interact with me, I'm spending a lot more time on Twitter or X, if you will, because Instagram and Facebook, kind of gay, not going to lie. Kind of gay. Old Mark Zuckerberg, he really doesn't like what we do, especially me. Seems to be quite anti-gun. and I don't think it's a very free platform there. So interact with me more on Twitter or X if you guys got that. If not, obviously I'm going to keep posting to Instagram, Facebook, and all that good shit too. I got a Facebook group out there, Victory Drive Crew. Shout out to those fucking crazy bastards. We've actually been having a lot of really good conversations about guns, ballistics, all sorts of fun stuff on the Victory Drive Crew Facebook page. For now, I guess, get in there while you can, because it might get shut down someday. You never know. Someone posts the wrong content about guns and whatnot, and then fucking there that goes. There goes all those hopes and dreams down the toilet. So if that happens, we'll have to reconfigure and see what happens next. But as of right now, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever, all that stuff. And if you guys wouldn't mind, if you want to leave a review on like Apple or Spotify, that is also greatly appreciated. I think one of these times on these intros, I'm going to go through and read all the Apple reviews and just kind of go from there. Maybe I'll start out each episode with like a nice review, and because I like to see what you guys say about the show, and I want to give back to you guys a little bit more as well. Some shout outs here and there. The names get kind of funky on those review for the reviews, but it is what it is. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'm not gonna lie to you. The best way to support the show and support me right now would be to just tell a friend. Get out there, talk to some friends, be like, hey, you guys like guns? Fucking listen to Victory Drive. I'm really trying to build like a cool community, gun community out here, and hunting community. I'm trying to be like, kind of be the bridge between the 2A community and the hunting community. I think there's always been a close alliance there, but I want to keep that shit close, because hunting rights and gun rights, they go hand in hand, whether you like it or not. They go hand in hand. So we kind of need each other to help each other when, shit hits the fan with politics and all that stuff. Because let's face it, these coward politicians are not on our side. They are on their own side. They want to appease whoever gives them the most money and support and all that good shit. They're cowardly and they suck, and you never know what they're going to do. They're constantly looking at ways to fuck us. So let's do our best, promote each other, keep each other on track, and be there when a brother or a sister needs a helping hand. Whether that's some crazy shit going on in their state that's trying to eliminate some hunting privileges over there, or another state trying to eliminate our gun rights. It's insanity out there, so we got to be there for each other and help support each other. And that's what I'm trying to do here, is kind of keep that awareness going and keep us all on the same page and keep us going forward. So without further ado, please welcome Garret Babcock from Find a Way Outdoors. Excellent conversation about turkeys, turkey hunting, how he got started making calls, and kind of the safety behind turkey hunting. So that's another thing. Stay safe out there while you guys are turkey hunting. Seems like turkey hunters also really enjoy shooting each other. So let's not shoot each other while we're out there turkey hunting. All right. So love you guys. Take care. Peace out. Girl Scout. Fucking here we go. Garret Babcock, how you doing, man?
Can't complain. How about you?
Yeah, I could complain, but no one wants to hear that anyway. So
I hear you there.
So, Garret, we started talking, I don't know, probably like a little bit last year and shit. And you make turkey calls, right?
Yep.
Okay. You want to go ahead and like kind of give us a backstory on you and how you got started making turkey calls and what they're calling and all that stuff? We'll start from there and kind of see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think it was about 4 years ago. I basically looked at a mouth call and, like I always do, kind of broke it down a little bit and said, I bet you I could make one of these. So I decided I would go and grab some materials to do it, because it really didn't seem that complicated. So I think I ordered, I don't know, 20, 25 calls worth of material, and then they showed up, and I realized what I had just gotten myself into, and they sucked. If we're going to be dead honest, they were absolutely terrible. Like, I don't even know. I think I've said it before to other people. I don't even know if they were worthy of a garbage can. Like, they were not good.
It does look simple though, just some latex layered over each other and fucking put some, where I guess you can call it tape in the back, but it does look fairly simple.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where my mindset was at with it. And I guess I just didn't realize all of the stuff that goes into it. Like, yeah, in theory, it really is a pretty easy process, but boy, there are a million different things that you can do to make them your own, I guess. So it's kind of cool to see. I mean, there's call makers everywhere, right? So it's kind of neat to see that one call maker to another, like how much different their calls sound, just because like everybody's starting in the same spot. But like I said, there's a million different ways that you yourself can put it together and make it your own. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah, no, that is cool. I mean, I've used a handful of turkey calls. When I first started turkey hunting, I think I just went to the store and bought like probably half a dozen turkey calls from various manufacturers and stuff, and just put them in there. And because everyone's mouth is formed a little differently too. Like some people have like a pretty, shallow roof or a deep roof or a narrow roof, so every call feels much different in the mouth. So, I have like a pretty wide Nordic mouth. So, like those really narrow mouth calls, they don't feel the best for me. So therefore I usually don't call the best with them and, all that. So it's like, that's kind of how I started turkey calling, just grabbing a shit ton of different, calls and just seeing what felt best and sounded best. But it is really interesting how different each mouth call really, sounds, whether it's like the different reed placements or how many different reeds you put in there and all that good stuff. But
yeah, absolutely. It's kind of cool to see like my own calls personally, how they went from literally not even being like worthy of a picture to now I've got a brand on them and stuff. And like, I'm up to 27 or 28 states now that my calls are entering. So that's like, it's insane to think that 4 years ago I don't even know what I would call it. I wasn't building calls. I was just slapping together a bunch of materials and making squeaky sounds. So
yeah. How'd you get started? Did you like watch videos and stuff, kind of like everything else? Like whenever I undertake a new venture, like even if it's just something like fixing something that I feel like should be fairly simple on my car, then I watch a YouTube video to kind of gauge the difficulty of it and be like, all right, fuck that, I'm not doing it, or I could probably swing it. But did you watch like a bunch of videos on it beforehand? Did you just order a bunch of shit and see what happens?
Yeah, so I like to do this thing where I get ahead of myself. So I ordered all the stuff, right? And then it showed up, and rather than trying to do that, like I said, I only ordered like 20 calls worth of material, which seemed like a lot at the time, but it really wasn't. So I think I wasted 5 to 6 calls worth of material just trying to figure it out on my own before I had watched anything, because surprisingly, obviously it's a little bit easier now because I know what I'm looking for, but it was kind of tough to figure out. Like it's hard to find information on how to build turkey calls, because I don't know if it's just because people don't want to, I guess, give up what they learned, or I have no idea, but it's surprisingly hard to figure out how to just like put a call together.
Oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah. So when you ordered a bunch of all your stuff and everything, I mean, so you said you didn't watch anything. I'm sorry. I fucking accidentally pushed the wrong button on my thing. So I kind of derailed my own thought process. But so you said you didn't watch anything. You just ordered 20 calls worth of stuff and started fiddling around with it. So, I mean, so when you realized like they kind of sucked, then did you watch, were there videos and stuff? Cause I feel like call makers are pretty, they don't probably want to show that process a whole lot, because then everyone would just be making their own shit, not buying it. But yep. What kind of resource material did you find?
So, it was easier for me to find like old forums than it was anything else. And I mean like old forums. I was finding stuff from like 2010 and earlier than that. So like wasn't really probably the most up to date information, but it was able to kind of get me going. And then once I figured it out, obviously I was able to mess with it and kind of tailor it to what I wanted. So it ended up working out, but I think it took me, well, this is year number 4. Now I'm finally like comfortable with where they're at. And now I'm excited to like get them out to people.
Awesome. Yeah. No, I mean, I haven't used them yet. And you sent me some, but they're not going to be here until Monday. But,
yeah.
Which I do appreciate. I honestly, they'll get here when they get here, but I do appreciate you sending some and seeing how they are. But, they look good. I mean, they look like mouth calls. So, I mean, did you start just by handing them out to your friends and stuff and kind of gauge their response and then slowly branch it out from there? Or like, did you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. That's exactly what I did. So basically, my girlfriend at the time, I had to kind of justify it because when I first, brought the idea up, because I do this with a lot of stuff, right? So I just like think of an idea that I know is going to cost a bunch of money and then like try to justify it. So with this one, I was able to justify it like, I could probably sell these things. So after some thorough convincing, she's my fiance now, so it must not have went too bad. So,
okay.
I mean,
you worded that fucking kind of goofy because you're like, my girlfriend at the time, like, oh no, this caused a breakup. And
yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. But yeah, so I kind of talked her into letting me buy all the stuff by justifying it like, I could sell these and make money on it. So there's like a return on what I'm investing into it because when I did this, boy, I was still in college, so I had no money. So spending $300, $400, $500 on calls and on materials and stuff to build calls was a pretty big expense at the time.
Oh yeah. Dude.
So
you're living on ramen and it's like shit.
Yeah. It took some justifying. So finally convinced her to do it. And then it was realistically just selfishly so I could make it myself. I actually had zero intentions on selling them at all.
Really?
So I started making some. Well, then I started to kind of figure it out. I didn't let anybody even know about it until I had kind of made one that I knew was good enough to at least probably fool one. So like I was making sounds that weren't horrible. And boy, like even my calling ability has come a long way since I started making them too. Because even back then, what I thought was good, I watch videos of it now, and oh my gosh, like it was not good. So finally, I ended up giving a few out to buddies, and one of my buddies in particular, he's like, "Boy, you should probably sell these things." And I kind of went back and on it for, I don't know, it was probably a month or so, and then finally ended up selling a few. Well, that first year there was like, and I regret it now, but I think there was like 300 or something that I ended up selling. It was something absolutely dumb, and every one of them was cut by hand. As far like from the start to the finish, it was all completely built by hand, and like I was cutting the tape by hand. It wasn't good. So there was like there was no uniformity, there was no consistency. Like it was bad. I probably screwed myself on a lot of people buying my calls. Just that quick. But
at least you're being honest about it, That's
it's bad. Like I just posted, it was, I don't know, a few weeks ago, I posted that video on TikTok where it was like from 2020 when I started till now. And the pictures from 2020 are just, it was bad, like really bad.
Yeah, no, that's kind of the nature of the beast for starting anything up. Like, I don't know. You do anything. This podcast, for example, I haven't been doing it for that long, and I'm sure I'll look back on like this episode that we're doing together. They're like, Jake, you fucking suck at this, But I mean, looking back on like my first few episodes and where I'm at now and stuff, like I feel like it's come a long ways. But it's kind of just you kind of have to just do that, right? There's certain things in life where especially when they're kind of hard or such new undertakings where you get paralysis by analysis and you look at things and you analyze it and you're like, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this sometime. Like, but then you want to make it perfect. You want to make sure it's like, all the things before you put it out there to people to see and criticize. But sometimes on certain things, it's almost better just to get out there right away and just start putting shit out there and see what people are saying, see what the feedback is. And if you suck, then hopefully some people come back with constructive criticism rather than just saying like, yeah, these calls blow, don't ever buy them, and this guy sucks at everything he does. You know, it's like that stuff's not constructive, but if you get constructive criticism back, then you can change it up and do and alter things early on and come out with a better product, like especially as things kind of start rolling. And hopefully people that buy in early have some patience and understand that process as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the thing was too, like when I started selling, I was literally selling them for like what it costed me in materials, and like $3-4 at most. I think I don't even think it might have been $3 a call. So like it was not. There was not a lot of investment that was in there. So like I think people were like, yeah, we'll take a shot on the kid, and then probably that's a lot of those guys didn't come back. So
yeah.
I know what happened, but some of the guys were, like you just said, like they were super helpful. And I was very open with people when I would sell, because it was like I would literally make the calls and then I would drive them to whoever won. Like I was delivering the calls. And again, in college, I'm spending all the money that I have on gas to take calls to people. And then, like some people were pretty helpful, and then other people I never heard from. And then there was a few that were just like, yeah, these calls suck, don't buy them. So I had a little bit of all of it, but and at the time I took offense to it. Like I know a lot of people, now I'm getting better at it, like ignoring the negative stuff. But at the time, like then I really took offense to it and was like, really? Like, are they that bad? Why am I even doing this? And I almost quit. I literally almost gave it up. But that's looking back.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the nature of the beast with everything. It's like whenever you try really hard at anything and someone comes along and is just like, you suck, like why are you even doing this, like this fucking blows, like what you're doing is dumb and you should stop. When people are just, you know, not necessarily, even if they're not trying to be rude, if they're like giving you genuine criticism and maybe it does really suck at the time, but it's like they're gonna say things like that, and it's hard not to take offense to it, because it's like, dude, I put in all this hard work to make this thing, and I'm trying my hardest to do it right. Like, don't just come. I guess when people come at you with like an insult, it does hurt. You know, you'd be lying if you said it didn't. And the people that say like, oh yeah, you know, I fucking whatever, just ignore it, and I don't pay attention to it. Either they literally don't pay attention to it and they just refuse to see it, or they do hear it and it does get to them a little bit, but they just learn how to like internalize it and deal with it and move on. And that's probably, in my opinion, that's probably the healthiest way, is to hear it and move on from it and realize, and hopefully you can realize like it's not maybe not necessarily not a personal attack. It's just like, it's how that person's feeling at the time. And it generally drives you to be a little bit better, I feel like. But I've also my life has been the majority of the time like negativity, like negative reinforcement. So it's like I've just been told I'm like a fat loser, I suck, like I'm never going to amount to anything for a long time. But that's just the nature of the beast with like the army and shit, you know, like they can't be nice to you. So you just get really good at being called things, I guess, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But
absolutely. Yeah.
Whenever you put something out there, like whether it's a product, like a mouth call or a podcast or a fucking YouTube video or whatever you're doing, you know, building a house, say you work construction and you finally decide to break out on your own and build and do your own company and build your own houses. And you say you fuck up one thing in a house, like, well, you know, this guy built a house, sure, but it fucking sucks, you know, like he didn't list me over here, he didn't list me over there, and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, you're going to make mistakes along the way, and hopefully you can do them early on enough where you can recover from it. Because, you know, say you've been doing this for, you know, 20 years. I feel like people have a lot more patience for when you're starting up. So hopefully you can just make all your mistakes early on and then just not make them again.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And my thing is too, is like, I change something, it seems like every stinking day. Like, I just can't make up my mind on a lot of it until now, like I said earlier, they are where I want them. They should not be changing. Like, if anything, I'm going to come out with new stuff rather than alter the old stuff. But for the first 2 years, even up till this year, I was changing stuff like regularly, where in theory I should have probably just like, once I landed on something, I should have stuck with it for a year and then changed it for the next year, because like, I think I frustrated some people last year because people were getting different versions of my call. I would make one in January, we'll say, and then by March, I figured something out about it. So then in March, the people that are buying are getting a better version or just a different version than the people in January, and that kind of frustrated some people too. So I don't know. I need to just accept that I finally have an idea what I'm doing and just stick with it, because I like to doubt myself a lot too, and I think that's just a human nature thing. Like you do, like you were saying earlier, you put all this work and stuff into it, and then my issue is I put the product out and I subconsciously I know it's good, but then I'm like, well, what if it's not? And then I sit and worry about that until I hear from the person that says, holy cow, these things have come a long ways. And then I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then I send it, and then I just start the process over again. So like, I need to just stick with what I'm doing, because now I'm pretty confident in saying that I'm as, well, I don't want to say I'm as good as I'm going to be now, but my stuff is as good as a lot of the stuff that's being put out by other people now. So it's kind of cool to see that.
You've made it up to the baseline, I guess. And that's probably, that's got to be like the toughest hurdle, is getting up to the baseline. And I mean, you know, I don't feel like I'm there yet. You know, sometimes I put out podcasts, I'm just like, fuck, you know, like, damn it. Like maybe I'm not good at this thing, but you know, I don't know. It's, then every once in a while, I'll get a review on like Apple or something like that and see some of those on there. I'm like, nice. Like, I've had one negative review, but it's still like a 3-star, but it was a fairly negative review. And they just picked out one thing I said about it. And it's like, all right, well, if that's the worst I've done, then I'm not doing that bad then.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, it's like kind of look at it that way too. It's like, you know, like if someone criticizes you and it's like constructive, or it's like, Jake, you interrupt too much, you interrupt the guest too much, like, stop doing that. So, okay, thank you, I appreciate it. I will fucking try my best to stop that. But if it's like, hey, this thing you said I don't agree with, it's like, and then you like leave a bad review or something like that about it, it's like, well, I'm not gonna say things that everyone agrees with all the time, because that's just not the way the world is. And I feel like we just need to be better at stuff like that, you know, where it's like having a little bit more, I guess, forgiveness on when people are faltering. If in your eyes, if they're faltering, then it's like, have a little bit more forgiveness. If like 80% of what they're saying is like fine, and then they say 20% of it's like, ooh, fuck, that I don't agree with that. That was a sucky take. And it's like, well, you know, it's still like not that bad. You know, it's like, we're as a community, we're very good at picking apart very little things and just dwelling on them, you know, and that goes with products as well. I feel like where, you know, if there's, you know, one little thing wrong with it, it's like, well, the whole thing sucks. Like, well, that's not probably true. So, but but making up to that base, that's where I was getting at. Getting up to that baseline is probably the hardest hurdle when you're first starting out anything. And that feeling that when you get there, now you can just like build on that baseline. And that's gotta be a pretty exciting place to be.
Yeah. No, it's insane to me. Like I was saying earlier, I think 27 or 28 states now these calls are in, and like most of those are this year. So I had
great.
So I had 22 last year, but a lot of it was me giving calls. Like I've kind of like I've given a lot of calls away, and I've given probably a lot more away than I should to people that I probably shouldn't have.
Like me.
But like this year, I think most of it's calls that I've sold to. So it's like 27, 28 states. So it's just insane for me to see that. And now, like you said, I'm at that baseline. At least I feel like I am. So now it's just, how can I make myself stand out among the rest of the guys?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Now that I'm here, I think there's nowhere to go but up now. Obviously that's not completely true, because that could all come down in a hurry, but
it could, but I almost feel like when you get up to that point where with whatever you're doing, once you get up to that point, if you were to get knocked all the way down to 0, then you probably did do something wrong, you know?
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about that. But
no,
I would like to think that I won't get to that.
Yeah. I think it'd have to be pretty egregious, you know? So like,
yeah, that's for sure.
usually when you see people fall, like if they're up, you know, and then when they really fall, it's like usually it's some form of self-sabotage. Because like in business too, they always say, you know, that old adage where, you know, what is it? Fucking 90% of the businesses die within the first like 2 years of them getting going or something like that. Where it's like, yeah, because they never made it to that baseline of like, ooh, now I'm finally making enough money to like survive, right? I'm finally making enough money to survive. So as long as I don't fuck anything up, then I will be okay from here on out. Like this business is a success because I'm making enough money to sustain my life, right? So when you get knocked down, usually it's like, well, I think there's other forms of like sabotage that go along with it, you know, with economic ebbs and flows and stuff like that. But usually it's like you did something wrong to lose that much customer base, I guess, right? And you being in 28 states now, it's like I feel like that's pretty fucking awesome, dude. And you've only been doing it for 4 years, so I mean,
yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And you never did anything with like the outdoor industry before this, did you? Like
No, not at all.
Because
zero.
And you still don't do this. This isn't your full-time gig yet.
No, I would like to get into the industry full time, but yeah, no, right now I'm still working in a factory 40 hours a week plus, and then coming home and putting everything else. Like this last month has been the most insane month that I think I've ever had. It's literally, I'm going in, I'm working 6:30 to 2:30 in the factory, and I come home, and from the time I get home to the time I go to bed, I'm coming in here and working on something with the calls or something with the brand. Like it's just all day now. Any bit of free time that I have, I'm investing into this just because now I can kind of like, I got a little taste of what a little bit of success was like in terms, and it's like my own personal scale, right? It's not like I'm selling millions of dollars with the calls, but like I've made more this year, sold more calls this year up to this point than I have in the last 3 years combined. So like, it's just a little taste of like, holy cow, maybe there is something here. So now it's just how the heck can I absolutely take this thing further?
Yeah, I mean, it's going. The train's moving, so you gotta keep it moving. You gotta keep it fed at this point, right?
Yeah, that's the plan anyway. I mean, now I'm trying to think of ways that I can not only just like keep going. I want to figure out how I can expand it and then make it more sustainable. Like I know we texted back and forth the other day a little bit and talked about how it would be kind of cool to somehow figure out how to do this. And I know you said that you were excited about what's coming with the podcast. So it's just like a never ending cycle. Like the wheels never stop spinning, I guess. And I'm just constantly thinking about how I can better myself, how I can make the brand better, how I can kind of disassociate myself and make the brand like kind of like a nameless, faceless thing. Cause that's the whole point of me starting it, is not so I can be recognized, and so my brand can be recognized, if that makes any sense at all.
Oh, dude, 100%. That makes a lot of sense, you know. And that's kind of the way I'm running like this podcast too. It's like every episode I come in here and do, I really try my hardest not to make it about myself. It's not because I feel like a good podcast is never really about the host. Like the listeners, they hear me every week, you know. I want to make it about the guest as much as I can. And I don't want to ever be like the star of it because I want the guests to be the stars. You know, everyone I have on, like they're the star of the show. It's not me. Like the fucking listeners, they are probably getting sick of hearing me. So it's like I want to make it as much about the guests as possible because that's what it's all about, you know, and not being this, like you were saying, like I want the brand to be recognized. I want people to know of Victory Drive, not necessarily Jacob Johnson, you know? So
yeah, absolutely.
I totally understand where you're coming from when you say that.
And sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I think it's a big deal with any, especially like in business and stuff too, where it's like the business has to make money before you can make money. So, you know, like I don't even think you said the name of your calls yet.
No, I don't think I did either. I think
okay.
I got talking. I forgot about it, but. So it's Find a Way Outdoors is the name of the whole thing. I started that. I think I actually started that before I started building calls, or right around the same time, one of the two. And like it kind of derived from. I don't really want to say that I'm like an adult onset. You know how kind of say that in all the podcasts and stuff, like an adult onset hunter or whatever, but because I've done it my entire life, but it was in college. I was playing baseball and kind of destroyed my shoulder and whatnot. So I lost pretty much everything that I was doing. So I was able to take that focus and effort that was going into sports and now put it into the outdoors. And ever since then, it's been me kind of like finding my own way and teaching myself everything. Like, it started with fly tying. I got into fly fishing, bought myself a super cheap fly rod from Walmart. It was like a $30 Fluger or something. It's stupidly cheap. And I literally taught myself it was the same thing. I didn't watch videos. I didn't do anything. Like, I went out and self-taught myself how to do it. And then I started buying flies and was like, holy cow, I could save a bunch of money if I tied my own. That's a lie, by the way. That's not even close to the truth. So it was just like everything that I was doing, I was kind of like finding my way with it. And believe it or not, it was talking to the same buddy that convinced me to start selling turkey calls. He made a comment one day that said, like, dude, you always find a way to figure it out. Like, you just find a way with whatever you're doing. And I'm like, holy crap. Yeah. And that kind of just like stuck with me. And that's how I kind of came up with the name, is Find a Way Outdoors. And then like I want to say, I guess I should say the word mission, but like, my mission of the whole thing is to promote people getting into this whole thing that we call the outdoors, whatever way that they can possibly do. And that doesn't have to be hunting. It doesn't have to be fishing. It can be hiking, biking, kayaking, whatever. Like, I'm just trying to promote people getting into the things that I enjoy, because like it's changed my life. Like, it's literally saved my entire life. So like, without these things, I don't know where I would be right now. So I'm trying to promote other people to kind of share that with me, I guess.
Mm-hmm. No, that's beautiful, dude. That's awesome. That's, I mean, I feel like that's cause you said you've been hunting your whole life, you said, right? Like, ever since you're young, you've been hunting. So, but then you got out of it to pursue other ventures. I feel like that's kind of the concept of a lot of people out there. You know, a lot of people grow up hunting, but then they get out of it somehow for whatever reason. You know, my reason was the Army. Like, I started moving around and doing all this other shit and just didn't have time for it. And, you know, training always seemed to fall on during hunting season. So it's like, it seems like that's like a very common thing for people when they're growing up, they're doing it and they love it. They know they love it, but then they just have to do like kind of morph and do other things for a while, especially when it comes to like the professional realm of, you know, getting a job or going to college or doing something else and trying to find a way to be a productive member of society. And then they eventually find their way back into the outdoors. So honestly, that's a pretty perfect thing, because I just said it like twice in that one sentence without even meaning to. So it's like, that's pretty, yeah. No, that's honestly a beautiful story behind the brand and everything else. That's cool.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And honestly, that's probably the most fluently that I've ever explained it. Usually I get about halfway through and kind of forget where I was at.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, like I said earlier, at first I thought it would be like, and maybe it's like this for everybody, maybe I'm just overthinking it. I don't know. At first I'm like, oh, I want people to know who I am. I thought it would be kind of cool to have like people be able to say my name and know who it is. But now at this point, like, I could care less. I want Finding a Way to be the forefront of it. And that if people know me, it is what it is. That's awesome too. But yeah, I'm not trying to promote myself at all. I'm really, truly and sincerely trying to promote what I just went over there. So
yeah, I mean, and let's just be honest about it. It's like, you want this thing to grow into, get big enough at least so you can make it your full-time gig, because that's the whole point of pursuing stuff like this. That's why you're going and cutting calls and doing all this shit after work. After you get done doing your job, you're going to go do this stuff, because eventually, like, the goal of a lot of things that you're passionate about is like, it would be cool if it paid the bills, you know? Like, it would be pretty sweet if I could find a way to make this to create a thing that I'd love to do already that at least pays the bills. Like, that would be sweet. That's the American dream. And then after it pays the bills, then you kind of keep compounding on that. And then eventually, you know, like fucking, I don't know, someone like Faraday will come and buy your business, and then you can retire, and then that's the American dream now. You know, it's like
Yeah.
build something,
Yeah, absolutely.
build something big enough so you can get a bunch of fucking corporate investors to come buy you out, and then you can just chill, go on easy street after that. So that's seems like that's the way of every outdoor company.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's crazy too, because like, and I've surprised myself, honestly, but I would be lying if I told you that there was so many people that were like, dude, you're wasting your time. There's no chance. I literally had a guy, and I argued with him because at the time I was young, naive, and still dumb, but I was dumber at the time. I argued with him for, I don't even know how long it was, because he was trying to tell me that, like, I'm too small. Like, there's no chance that I'm going to get recognized. There's too many other people. There's too much competition. Like, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your money. Your products aren't even that great anyway. And I kind of, oh yeah, no, it was a legitimate, like, he was shooting me down. That was still to this day the worst one, like the worst interaction that I've had.
Jeez.
So, yeah, oh yeah.
Who is this
like,
fucking guy? Is he like a buddy of yours or a family member? Or?
No, it was a coworker.
Coworker? Okay. Well, that's, you know what? That's straight up like, just like, I can't do something like that, so I don't think you should be able to do either, kind of thing. It's a form of jealousy, you know?
That's what it was. And here was the funniest part. So the guy in particular, like, he doesn't hunt, he doesn't fish, he doesn't do like this stuff.
Oh, so he doesn't know fucking shit.
Yeah, it was just more or less just like, hey kid, you're dumb. Like, you're dumb, and you're wasting time because there's no chance.
You're gonna work in this factory and you're gonna fucking like it, okay?
Yeah, and that's pretty much, yeah, pretty much. And like, and it sounds stupid, but like, I think about that quite often. Like, every time I come in here and sit down and I'm building turkey calls, and I'm like, boy, I really am glad that I didn't listen to him, because that one, I'm not even gonna lie, it's done. Like, I went home and I thought about that, and I'm like, boy, is he right, or am I just like being stubborn here? Mm-hmm. And yeah, so every time something changes in the right direction, I'm like, yep, that's kind of like an in your face type of deal. But I'm never actually gonna like go back and rub it in the guy's face, because that's just how I am. But I'll let the brand talk for me. And again, I would have never guessed that I would have even gotten this far. So it's just insane for me to see, and I'm not stopping anytime soon. Mm-hmm. So,
well, he'll see it. He'll see it when you walk in and put your 2 weeks notice in. He's still doing the same shit, you know?
Yeah.
So the way I handle things, like, there's a very, very, very small group of people in my life that I truly give a fuck about what they say. And I can name off the majority of them right now. It's like, my wife is number one, where it's like, if she doesn't support me, then a lot of this kind of goes down the drain, because it's like, having someone that close that you decide to spend the rest of your life with, and you made that commitment to them, if they shit on you about something, then it's like, damn, either you made the wrong decision on marrying them, or they're actually trying to save you from a lot of hardship, you know? And they just don't want to see you pour your heart and soul into something that you do actually completely fucking suck at. You know, it's like, I'm a 32-year-old man. If I went to my wife, I'm like, honey, I'm going to the NFL Combine. I'm going to try it out, and I'm going to devote my entire life to get in the NFL. It's like, you're 32 fucking years old. There's no way you're doing it. I played 2 years of football in high school. Like, that's not going to happen, right? And she would be wise to say, Jake, you should probably fucking focus on something a little more feasible, you know? And I would take that to heart and be like, yeah, you're right. Maybe I shouldn't do that, you know? But it's like, and then other people, like my mom, dad, my brother, sister, like, all those people, like, they, in this aspect with the podcast and stuff, it's like, I take, you know, like Kurt's advice to heart. You know, I take a lot of people's advice to heart, but it's people that are very close to me. That's who I generally listen to. Everyone else that has something to say, then I'll like laugh and be like, ha ha, maybe I'm fucking dumb, but, you know, I'm going to keep doing it until, you know, for however long I want to, kind of deal. But I never take that kind of stuff to heart, especially from someone like a coworker that's working the same shitty job. I'm not saying your job is shitty, but in the aspect of like, they're working the same shitty job, and they're mad at themselves for not doing something more with their lives. So they enjoy shitting on other people for trying to do something else, you know? especially if it's outside the box.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, again, like I surprised myself, and I've surprised a lot of people, like a lot of people. Nobody's ever directly came out and said, hey, you're wasting your time, other than like that one interaction. Mm-hmm. But I've had some people that were like, hey, yeah, you should probably think about this a little bit harder. Cause like since the start, even like since I started to kind of figure it out a little bit, I'm like, boy, this would be kind of cool to develop this into something that I could make money at. And then I've had the people that are like, oh, you don't want to make something you enjoy. You don't want that to become what has to pay the bills, because then you're going to lose the love for it. I just don't ever seeing that happen. Like I can't see it. There's just no way. I don't know. This thing, like, I don't know if people truly understand what like the outdoors truly means to me. Cause when I say it, like people say, oh yeah, like outdoors saved my life. But no, like the outdoors truly did save my life, because it's been like, I've dealt with a lot of stuff, especially as of late. And if not for this stuff, boy, I don't know where I'd be. So it's the passion and the devotion and the determination to make this my thing is not going anywhere.
Yeah, no. And it's one of those things where I get that, saying where it's like, you don't want to make your passion your job, because then you'll grow to hate it, kind of thing. But for some things, yes, for sure. I can see that for some things, but with the outdoors and stuff, especially, it's, I feel like it's different. I feel like it's a lot different, because if you can make this your career and actually make enough, and when I say career, I'm not talking like, become a multi-million-dollar industry. I mean, that'd be cool too. I wouldn't bash anyone for, being ultra successful, but you just you want to make a modest living doing something that you love. And I feel like that's, in this industry, it's kind of different, because you grow up doing it and you do it so often, and you get so much from it, right? Like you get so much from being outside and hunting and doing these things. Like you get so much from it, and it never asks you for anything in return, right? So if you get something from someone, then you're kind of expected to give something back in return, whether it's a form of payment or another, or like do something else for me, what I mean, like a favor or something like that. It's like the outdoors and hunting that never asks for anything back. So for you to grow up and be doing this thing, especially something that you feel so strongly about, that you're saying that's saved your life and everything else, where it's like, you almost feel like you want to give back to it somehow. And this is the best way that you found to give back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Couldn't have said that any better myself. It's just, I don't know. There's just no way. And I mean, even if it doesn't end up panning out, and this doesn't end up being my job someday, I'm still going to do it. Like it's still going to be there for me. And like you said, it's not asking anything of me. So I'm still going to keep doing it until I can't anymore.
Exactly. And, I feel wholeheartedly about the whole, the outdoors world has saved your life. I feel the same way, where it's like, when I was getting out of the Army and completely changed my entire life up, I'm like, well, fuck, now what do I do? Cause that was a big reason for me not getting out of the Army right away, even though I didn't really love what I was doing, and shit started changing in the military so much where it's like, is this even the same thing that I joined? And it started turning into not. But I was like, I need to get out, and I need to go back to at least be a dad, because at that time I split with my ex-wife, and my daughter came back to Iowa and stuff. I'm like, well, fuck, do I want to be a soldier or a father? It's like, I'd rather be a father. So I'm going to leave and do that, but I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. And with the military, everything's so goal oriented. There's always another step. There's always another school. There's always another, when I was in, there's always another deployment. There was stuff to there's a lot of clear cut lanes for all these different goals and what you want to do and stuff, right? And when you get out of the military, there's no structure, there's no goals unless you set them, right? Unless you create the structure and create the goals, right? So when I got out, I'm like, well, I need to figure something out because I'm a very goal oriented person. If I don't have something to look forward to, then I fall into like a pretty deep depression. And that's one thing I found when I got home. I'm like, hey, I used to hunt when I was a kid and I loved it. I need to get back into that. And my buddy, Matt Moon, thank God for him. He got me into bow hunting, and I fell in love with it, and I had a blast doing it. I'm like, I want to keep doing this thing. And it just so happened that bow hunting opens up a huge, long season, so I could extend my season for way longer, and tags were way fucking easier to get, like out west. So I started looking at that stuff, and that kept the wheels spinning, and kept the gears lubed up and shit. And for me, mentally as well, where I'm like, okay, well, I can't fucking kill myself because I have hunting season coming up, It's like, not only that, but I also have a daughter and a family and everything else. But, when she grows up and gets on her own as a full-fledged adult, then it's like, well, I need something else. I need something else driving me so I can be the best dad I can be. Right. And yep. I felt like hunting specifically made me a better person. So it made me a better father. Not to get like too fucking deep into the weeds about it, but that's how I feel about it. And that's why I feel so passionate about it as well.
Yep. No, I get that completely. Like I said, yours is different. And it's crazy because they're right there is a perfect example how two completely different paths and we're in the same spot. Like it led us down to the same place.
Yep. Yeah. That's one other thing that's so cool about like the, I guess, quote unquote hunting industry or outdoor industry is that it can bring so many different people to one, like, I guess, one thing that brings everyone together, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a pretty special. It's honestly a pretty special place to be in. So it is. I totally understand why you are looking at this as like a way to give back and a way to just kind of stay in it and keep it going and just be in it as much as possible and for as long as possible.
Every sip of Coca-Cola brings you closer to the excitement of the FIFA World Cup 26. Because nothing compares to the joy. So grab a Coke and drink in the FIFA World Cup 26. No purchase necessary. 13 plus in 50 U.S. states and D.C. with a web-enabled device. Ends March 1st with 8 entry periods. Rules at cokeurl.com/soccer rules.
Yeah, and I honestly, I wish I could do this all for free. Like, I wish I could just give everything away. Like, that's just, like I said, I feel like I owe so much to the outdoors that I just wish that I could, again, just give it more than take. Unfortunately, that's not quite how it works.
No, we still got bills, man. It's like we can't really do that shit because, shit ain't free. So,
yeah, and that's like the last 3 years, it's just been me. Like, my fiance, she has yelled at me so many times because, like, I'll talk to somebody and be like, hey, you want some turkey calls? Hey, you want this? Hey, you want that? And, like, I give them away, and then I get completely taken advantage of. Like, there's no anything on it. And, like, now this year I've frustrated some people that come back and are like, hey, you going to give me calls again? And I'm like, no, sorry, I can't do that this year because, like, I'm trying to be smarter about it because I've got all this money into it. And then, like, I almost feel bad to ask people, like, I guess the way that I could describe it is I almost feel bad asking people for money, like, even though I'm in return giving them a product.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I've got to remember that I also have so much time and money and everything invested into it, so I have to let it kind of give back to me in that way, too.
Well, fuck yeah, dude. And it's kind of rude of someone to just assume that you're going to get more for free. It's like, bitch, I already gave you, like, this much for free. Like, you already got the idea of what's going on. And, like, do you not think it's worth buying? That's what you should say, I guess. Like, oh, well, I mean, I guess I could possibly give you some, sure, but are they not worth buying? Like, are these calls not worth it? Because if they're not worth buying, then I don't want to keep making them, kind of thing,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You want to make something that's worth buying. That's the whole point.
And that's what, like, I've had some people tell me too, like, and it's the same thing like we just talked earlier. You have that certain crew of people that you trust and you value what they say, and, like, I've had some people that are like, you're never going to make it if you don't, like, start charging what your stuff is worth. Because, like, my prices are, I think they're still fairly low considering, like, this is literally, like, the only thing that I offer, I guess.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm a lot cheaper than a lot of the other places, and it's just because, like, I'm almost, like, too worried to charge I kind of know what they're worth, and I just like am afraid to charge that for some reason, because I almost am like subconsciously, well, what if my customer base disappears because I'm charging more money now? So I don't know. I'm not a businessman, so like this is all I'm built this plane while it's in the air, and I got to realize that like now I'm starting to establish myself, so now I have to kind of.
No, I looked at your stuff yesterday, and I would say that it's very modestly priced. Like you're asking what, $10 per call, I think.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like most other places are damn near double that. So, and you're talking, they have the manufacturing and all the other stuff. So they're buying everything in bulk and getting it cheaper. So their, I guess, ROI is much higher than yours. So I guess when it comes to pricing wise, like, no, you're definitely not asking too much. I don't think. And then on top of it too, it's like, yeah, I mean, the whole, like you're saying, the whole point of it is just, if you're making a product that's only just barely good enough to be given away, then it's not worth doing. You know, you do have to, there is a certain point in time in your life where you have to realize like, okay, is this actually worth my time? Because if you're not getting anything back, especially monetarily wise, and that's one thing a lot of people and maybe some listeners think of, where it comes to anything, it's like, oh, they're asking too much for this thing because they're greedy. It's like, it's rarely because of greed. It's more or less because they have to keep it going, and they have overhead and they have other things they have to pay for. It's like nothing is free, you know. It's like, for some reason, I feel like in the outdoor industry, people do get a little bit bucky when it comes to talking about money. I don't know what it is about it, but like in other industries, like especially like in other forms of entertainment or media, you know, it's like people are looked at based on how much money they make, I guess, right? But if I come in here, like say I come on here, say I strike a deal with fucking name your company, right? Name your whatever company out there. They want to sponsor the show, and they're going to pay me a fucking $1 million a year to push their product, right? And I come out here and say, hey guys, guess what? I'm fucking rich. I'm getting $1 million a year from this company to tell you this. It's like, I would get completely trashed, you know, by the outdoor community. But then you have other, I guess, entertainers or forms of media that they openly flaunt that, and that's looked at as like a good thing, you know, like, oh, they're making all this money because they're that good. But for some reason in the outdoor community or the hunting community, when a media type personality, like whether it's a podcast or a TV show or a YouTube channel, if they come out there and they just openly state and like flaunt how much money they're making, like they're trashed. And it's just, it's really weird, the dynamics between each industry. And, you know, I don't know, I definitely haven't seen the outdoor industry rife with greed, I guess, but maybe other people do. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that was actually like a great layout of that too. I've never really even thought of it in that in depth, but yeah, you're 100% right on that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not making really jack diddly. You know, Kurt finally was able to go full time, and he got some shit for that. Like, people are like, oh, you're not fucking working class anymore. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy that someone would trash someone for making it to that baseline like we were talking about earlier, you know? It's like, holy shit, you have a successful podcast and you're able to make it your full-time job. You're gay. You know, it's like, that's a weird thing to do.
Yeah, like, what do they expect, I guess? Isn't that, like, that's the goal? So,
yeah.
And 90% of those people, I honestly feel like, if they were if they were put in that position, like, for Kurt, they were doing the same damn thing. Like, why wouldn't you?
Right.
It's the thing that you love doing, and you have an opportunity, why not take it?
Yeah. It'd be like turning down a raise at your job because you're like, well, I'm not greedy. Even though I'm working my ass off and doing all these things, I'm not greedy, so I'm not going to take the raise. It's like, okay, we'll find someone else that will take the promotion. You know, it's like, what the fuck? You're crazy not to. So I don't know. It's just weird, the dynamics between, I guess, like consumer out, like in the outdoor world, or versus like the produce. I don't know how to really explain that dynamic. Your regular hunters that just love the outdoors and want to do their own thing, like trashing on certain other people for making it their career. I don't know what it is, if it's jealousy or what it is or what. I don't know. I just haven't seen a good argument for why you trash someone for being good, unless they are openly selling out. Like if they're selling out, like if fucking Kurt went full time and he's like, well, sorry guys, I can't cuss anymore because the sponsor A that allowed me to go full time said, hey, I'll give you this much money if you stop cursing and stop saying all these things. Like, and he did that. Yeah. That would be different. That'd be, yeah, Kurt, you sold out. Like, you know, that is gay.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's.
I don't know.
It's the dream everybody's chasing, and then when somebody finally achieves it, and I'm sure that he probably like didn't expect to get any backlash on it because you've chased it for that long, and it's been like known that he was planning to do that. Like I don't think it was a secret to anybody that he was going to eventually do that. And then once he finally got there, people were like, "Well, what the hell are you doing?" And all of a sudden, you're like, "What?"
And I will say, with like full confidence, I will say that 99% of the listeners of, you know, Working Class or Victory Drive or Tackle and Tackles, like our network that we're building here, I would say that 99% of the people are 100% supportive, 100% on board, and 100% get it. It's the 1% in every area. It's the fucking 1%. It's the loud minority that are like, I want my voice heard, and in order to get heard, it's to say some inflammatory shit, you know? So, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like that. I mean, I'm sure it's like that with you too, and I know it's like that with me because most of the people, and the other thing is too, like with me particularly, when those calls were absolute trash, a lot of people lied too because they were telling me they were good, and at the time I believed them, but now I know that they were actually just like trying to spare my feelings, and I think a lot of them truly did see the passion and the effort and stuff that was put into it, so they didn't want to, like, I guess, be honest and maybe ruin my feelings for the whole thing. I don't know. That's not a great way to explain it, I suppose, but
no, I get it. It's kind of like it's honestly, some people are just nice, you know, there's nice people and they're like, yeah, man, you're doing a great job, you know, like keep it up kind of thing. Cause they probably don't want to hurt your feelings. You know, it's kind of like asking your mom, like, hey mom, does my hair look good? Like, yes, honey, you look great. You look so handsome tonight, you know, like if you have a nice mom, that's what she's going to say usually. So it's like not a very reliable source to ask. Or like my wife, like sometimes she'll ask me if an outfit looks good. It's like, yeah, you fucking look good in everything. You know, of course you look good. Like I'm not a reliable source. I'm openly biased, you know, it's I know I am. I know my faults, but you know, it's kind of one of those things, but you also don't want them being too nasty either. We're kind of talking around where it's like a little bit of criticism is nice. You know, we're really trying to like butter up the listeners and be like, hey, tell me what you think, but don't be mean about it. You know, it's like,
yeah.
It's kind of funny, actually. I just realized that. That's kind of weird. But it is good that you have that introspection is that the right word, where you can look in the mirror and realize like, oh, hey, I was actually not doing the best, you know, and you can change it and make things better. That's how we all get better at things. But I do want to talk a little bit about like, so has turkey hunting always been your thing? I guess that always been like your, I guess the thing that you're most passionate about?
So, no, actually, no, it really wasn't. I always thought, because when I grew up, it was always, I'm from Pennsylvania. I don't know if I mentioned that yet or not, but it was always, I grew up not even realizing like bow hunting was a thing, first of all. So it was just, I was waiting for that 2 weeks of gun season every year. So it was just that. And then turkey season was just kind of like, nobody likes getting up early. So when I was a kid, I would go whenever finally somebody would agree. So no, I really didn't get into turkey hunting a ton up until probably the year, I think it was it must have been the year before I started making the calls. I had only killed, I think, 3, maybe 4 birds up until the age of 18, 19. So I finally, like, when the whole college thing happened, I finally kind of just said, screw it, what else do I have to lose at this point? Like, I don't have baseball to do. So, like, and that was the other thing, too. Baseball is a spring sport, so I didn't really get to devote the time into turkeys that I do now. So I finally went out, learned how to use a call. And if you would have heard me trying to use a call, like a mouth call then, it would be an absolute shock that I'm making them now. If it was like the first time I ever put one of those stinking things in my mouth, I spit it back out so fast and said, "This is the dumbest thing ever. Who thought of this?" Yeah. And that's like my go-to for everything. But I went out and found probably the dumbest turkey in the world, called it in and shot it. And that was my first, I think it was my first solo kill of anything at all. Deer, turkey, anything. So it just kind of lit a fire, and that's when I finally started looking at the mouth calls, and then that started that rabbit hole. And ever since then, boy, had I not, the first year that I was making the calls, I went out and I actually, I busted my ass for an entire season. That was the first year of COVID or second? No, it was the year before COVID, actually. So I was in college, and I was close enough to home that I could drive and go hunt myself and our private property, and I hunted all year long. It was it might not have been every day, but it was close. And finally, at the end of the season last week or so, I called in 2 toms and shot one on film, and that was with the call that I had used all season that I built. And when that happened, it was just oh my God, I've been missing out on this for a long time. And don't get me wrong, bow hunting is a very, I'm glad that this isn't the same, they don't happen at the same time, because bow hunting is basically, it's either equal or just below turkeys. But now that I'm kind of into the turkeys, it's really the bread and butter. It's where I'm excelling. And I don't know a lot still. I'm still a student of the game. I'm trying to learn from everybody that I possibly can. And actually making these calls has opened the doors for me to learn a lot about it, because I've met guys that they're just straight killers, and it's been awesome for me. And that's pretty much about it. But yeah, I think turkeys is it's right up there.
That's cool.
I don't know if it's going to top. Maybe. I also haven't shot a giant buck yet, so take that for what it's worth.
Right. No, I grew up kind of similar to that, where I grew up just gun hunting in Iowa, with my dad, my brother, and our little group and stuff that we had. And I'm trying to think. I pretty sure, besides my time in the Army, I'm pretty sure that a turkey was the first thing I killed by myself too. It's
yeah,
because I shot that buck with a bow and arrow before I ever killed a turkey. But I was right. My buddy was at right down. It is silly. It wasn't even that long ago, but looking back, I'm that's a silly thing, but it worked because it was a young buck and it's dumb. So I'll admit it. I'm not too proud, but it was my first time, and I was just going out with him. He was at the base of the tree, and I was in this tree stand. He grunted in this fucking buck that came in. I shot it. So I was with him when I shot this deer, and it was sweet. But then that next season, he's like, "You need to come turkey hunting with me too." I'm like, "Okay, fuck yeah." But prior to that, when I was young, the same buddy, he tried to get me and my dad into turkey hunting, and they told us "Yeah, go buy a call. We'll let you borrow, go out there and fucking sit down and call and see what happens," kind of thing. And we went out there, and it was fucking freezing rain. It sucked. It was terrible. We sat out there for probably 2 hours. Woke up super early. Went out there. We're like, well, this is dumb as hell. Turkey hunting blows. We're never doing this again. So I never turkey hunted again after that. And when I got back home after I killed that buck that next spring, he took me out again. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll give it another shot. We go out there, and he's like, I'm not going to say he's cocky, but he's a very confident bird hunter, and turkeys being part of that bird family. He's like, I'm pretty good at turkey hunting. We can get this done. I'm like, okay, cool. Go hunt with them. Hunt with them all third season and into fourth season. And he shoots a turkey, but I didn't. And I'm like, well, damn, all right. He couldn't make it out one day, so I just went out by myself. Yep. And the whole time, when we were hunting together, we'd be calling. We set up. We had the decoys set up. We're calling. He's calling, and I'm sitting there. He's calling away, and they're gobbling, but they're just over, just out of sight, over away from us, right? And they're gobbling, calling. I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. And they never come in. And I asked him, can't we just go over there and shoot one? And he's like, no, dude, they have such good eyesight. You're never going to sneak up on them. I'm like, okay, well, that it is what it is, So we're sitting there, nothing happens. And then I go out by myself, and I have just one inflatable hen decoy that I bought from Fleet Farm. And I go there by myself, and I stake it out, and I go on this piece of public, and I get there super early, and I'm sitting there at the tailgate of my truck, and I hear some gobbles in the roost. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to head that way. So I just start walking towards them gobbling, and I get pretty close, I feel like, and I stake my hen decoy out there, and I sit back, and I just wait, and I wait for him to fly down. I hear him pitch down from the roost. So I'm like, okay, cool. And they land, and I give them a couple of yelps and stuff, and I hear some gobbles. I'm like, sweet. And then this turkey, this Tom pops up on the other side of the river and is fucking strutting, right? Strutting back and forth. And he sees my hen decoy. He's strutting. I'm like, okay. So I give him some really light yelps, and he's strutting. He breaks strut, looks over, starts strutting again. I'm like, come on, dude, just fly across the river. Like, this hen's hot. She's ready to go. Like, come on, buddy. You can do it. And he just keeps strutting and strutting. And I don't know anything about turkeys. So I'm like, sitting, he's just strutting back and forth. I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, I'm going to sneak up to him. So I get down on my hands and knees. I just belly crawl through this tall grass all the way up to the bank of the river. And I shoot across, and I kill him. I'm like, holy fuck. I just snuck up on a turkey. I'm like, take that, Matt. It can totally be done. But yeah, it was badass. And I do have to preface this. So there is a law in Iowa. You can't shoot across a body of water. You can't shoot a solid projectile. So you can't shoot like a rifle or a slug or anything across a body of water, but you can shoot bird shot. Obviously, waterfowlers do it all the time. So I just want to make sure everyone knows, like, I'm still legal. And I shot this turkey across the river, or it wasn't even really a river. It was just it was like a wide creek, like with not a shit ton of water in it. I think it came into my waist, because after I shot that turkey, I got so freaked out. I'm like, oh my God. I just jumped in the river and fucking ran across it. Got all soaking wet. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, I fucking did it. And I found him, and he died in this big ass puddle. So you ever seen a wet turkey?
They are not pretty. Dude,
the worst. They're the worst looking animal ever when they're wet.
Yeah, they are not good.
So I grabbed him, like, sweet, dude, my first turkey. This is badass. And then I go back over there. I'm super stoked. And I grab my hen decoy. I'm walking out all happy. And I meet this old timer on the trail walking out. And he's walking out. He's done for the day. And he's like, oh, you got a nice gobbler back there, huh? I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, man, I've been hunting these woods for like 20 something years or so, and it's always been really good, but I haven't killed anything back here for like probably 5 or 6 years. I was like, where the hell were they at? I'm like, oh, they're like over there, and we were talking for a little while. I was like, well, he's like, I told him it was my first turkey and everything else. He's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And he's a super nice guy. And he asked me, he's like, you want me to take a picture with it for you? I'm like, sure. So I just do the thing that everyone does. I just get behind and I fan it out. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? and he takes the picture, and I look, I'm like, thanks, man. Like, good luck to you. And I walk out of there, and I look at the picture, I'm like, geez, that's terrible. I should probably post. I'll post that picture sometime soon here. But I'm like, dude, it was so funny. But I was so happy. I'm like, he's just so gross looking though, and it looked like I was fanning out like little sticks.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
Yeah, it's insane how an animal that looks so stinking like just cool can also look like a drowned rat.
Oh yeah,
like it's and that's probably that might be not a good way to explain it, honestly, because
that's being a little nice, honestly, because I feel like a wet rat looks better. Like it's pretty bad, but like turkeys, they are super pretty. Like they have so many different cool colors in their feathers and everything else. Like, they're fucking the super pretty bird, but when they're wet, man, they just look like a black, nasty, wet fucking used rag.
Yeah, they're not. It's not good.
No, it's not. But it was pretty sweet. But where is it going? Oh yeah. So I think that was the first animal that I've killed. I killed all by myself. That probably had a little bit to do with the excitement too, and stuff. But it was pretty sweet. So I do have a soft spot for turkey hunting now.
Yep.
And I've killed every turkey that I've killed, but one was sneaking. Like I snuck up on them. So it can definitely be done. Spot and stalk style hunting can definitely work turkey hunting.
Yeah, that's awesome because I've only ever done. I think I've got one technical spot and stalk, but it was almost accidental.
Most of them are.
Like I knew he was there, but I didn't know that he was exactly where he was, and I ended up just sneaking up to the right spot and did everything right. It was actually this last year, kind of. And that was the biggest bird I've ever killed. So
nice, that's awesome.
It was the same type of deal, but you actually intentionally snuck up on the turkey. I just got lucky and put myself in the right spot.
Yep. Yeah, no, I did that one, and then the next year after that, I like actually fully 100%. Like I spotted these turkeys out in a field, and I fucking stalked them bitches all the way up to it, and they were gone. And they eventually kind of came back a little bit, and I legitimately spot and stalked that Tom. I will say that. Like that was a legitimate, like fucking spotted him from the truck, snuck in on him, and shot him. And that was pretty badass too.
Freaking awesome.
But then I shot my first turkey over decoys last year, and that was equally as badass, honestly. Like that was a rush in itself, like watch them come in strutting like that and attack the Tom decoy we had set out there. That's fucking badass too.
Yep. Yeah, so believe it or not, I've never shot one over a decoy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm just straight timber hunting out here and mostly public, so I don't dare. I just don't dare take decoys with me.
Is that a fear of getting shot yourself?
Yeah, just because I've seen, we actually know a guy here that was a victim of that. So,
dude,
I mean, it was years ago, but still.
I want you to tell that story, but I have to interject real quick. Why is it that almost everyone I have talked to that turkey hunts a lot, everyone knows somebody that's been shot while turkey hunting? Like, why is that such a popular time to get fucking shot in the woods?
Yeah. See, it's never made sense to me either because they have to be close.
Yeah.
So like you in theory, you should be well aware of what's beyond your target. Like it's not ever an accident. I don't feel like there should be an accident, I should say.
No, dude, it honestly doesn't make any sense. Like I don't understand. Like, and most decoys look pretty good, but you can fucking tell, dude, especially if you're sitting there watching them for a while, like you can tell that they're not real turkeys because A, they're not fucking moving.
Yep. And
B, they aren't moving. That's probably the biggest factor. They're not walking around, dude. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Shooting a thing that looks like a turkey that's just sitting there. Like, you literally, what turkeys ever let you just walk up to it and shoot it? It doesn't make any sense.
And what turkey doesn't move? Like, turkeys are like the most finicky animal ever. I feel like they're always moving.
They're always moving. Constantly. Whether they're fluttering their feathers or shaking or strutting or scratching or something, they're constantly on the move. Like, when they're awake, I don't think they ever just like sit down and chill out and hang out for hours on end.
Yeah, because they're not like deer. Like, if they see something, they don't stand there and just freeze until they figure out what it is. No, turkeys don't waste time. They move.
Oh, yeah, they do. I will say that. Like, I'm a firm believer that turkeys are dumb as shit. Like, birds in general are dumb as shit because they have such small brains and everything else. But I feel like that is what makes them hard to hunt because they don't have, like, they're not curious. There's, in a bird, you look in a bird's eyes. Like, take the time, look at a bird deep in its eyes, and tell me that you see a soul, because there isn't one. They don't fucking have the brain capacity to really harbor much of a soul, I feel like, so they don't have a whole lot of curiosity in those eyes. You look at a deer or like a mammal, they're curious. Like, you spook them a little bit, they'll look at you, they'll give you a second glance, and they'll try figuring out, like, oh, is it really danger? Turkeys are like, everything's danger all the time. Like, I don't care. Like, there's no curiosity. It's like, not normal, I'm gone.
Yeah. Yep. You're 100%.
Yeah.
Everything but the kill turkeys.
Yeah. No, they're fucking interesting creatures, that's for sure. And I do like on them because they are very turned on. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. And I like the aspect of like it's more active. Don't get me wrong, I love deer hunting, I really do. But turkey hunting is so much more active, and it fits my style more because I can just go, like just keep going. You know, you hear one, just go after it.
Yep. And they're very call oriented, so it's fun to interact with them like that.
Yep. Yeah,
tell that story that I cut you off from.
So I got thinking, it wasn't over a decoy. So what happened to him was he actually was sitting and calling, and somebody snuck up onto him and heard him calling and just fired.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's his recollection of the story.
Okay, so the guy just blind shot the sound?
So from what he told us, he was kind of sitting in a he had cover, obviously, so he was in a setup and was calling from the setup, and I guess the guy just come up and let one rip.
Was he yelping or was he gobbling?
Yeah. Oh, he was yelping.
What the fuck?
What he told us. And I mean, this was a lot of years ago, but still.
Can you shoot hens in Pennsylvania during the springtime?
Yeah. Well, if they have beards, technically they are legal. But no.
Okay. But if you don't even see a fucking turkey and then you just assume, like, yeah, this hen yelping, I can tell it's a bearded hen. Totally.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, most of the stories that I hear, it's something like that. It's not even like there's never a justification for not knowing what's beyond your target or what you're shooting at. But, like, there's not even any doubt about, like, maybe I could somewhat just, like, no. Every story that I hear, it's like, how the hell could you possibly have made that mistake?
Dude, that does not make any sense whatsoever. That goes against, like, everything you learn in hunter safety, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything. Like, I don't know, maybe I just had a good dad that taught me, you know, it's like, when you have a gun in your hand, especially, it's like, hey, treat the gun as if it's loaded at all times. And also, whenever you do decide to take a shot, make sure whatever you're pointing that gun at, you intend to kill, you know? So it's like, you can't fucking point the gun at something you intend to kill if there's nothing there that you intend to kill. You have to have it in your sights before you pull the fucking trigger. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And in turkeys, like, I don't even put a shell in my gun until I'm working a bird now. I didn't used to be like that. Like, I just have a single shot. Like, the gun that I'm using is just a single shot. I don't even put a shell in it until I'm working a bird and, like, there's a chance that I'm going to get a shot.
Oh, I gotcha.
Like, it just, I don't know. I've heard too many stories and seen too many dumb things, so, like, I'm not going to be a part of that statistic.
No, I hear you. Honestly, I'm of the mindset of, like, better safe than sorry kind of thing. I guess I always load up, like, put a, you know, I always chamber a shell before I even walk out, unless it's dark. Like, if it's well before shooting light, then I won't have one in the chamber yet. Just because, you know, it's like, what's the point? And it's not even shooting light yet. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm so used to carrying guns that have them in the chamber, where I'm just like, it's not a big deal. And I know that, you know, safety on, safety off. I understand that concept pretty fucking well. So it's like, I know how to manipulate safety, and I know when the safety's on. So it's like, it's pretty safe. But it's the
there's no doubt about it.
But I also advocate for everyone, you know, better safe than sorry, and especially after hearing stories like that, where it's like, there's probably more people that should just have their guns unloaded at all times until they actually see an animal. So
yeah, and actually, so mine kind of stems from rifle season with deer. I had a gun malfunction. I was only like 12. I might not even have been that old. So Pennsylvania does like a 3-day youth doe hunt with a gun during bow season. But it's antlerless deer only. So back then, it was my dad. He took me out. We one of his buddies was nice enough to let us go hunt their farm, and it was an old what the heck was it? A Model 7? Yeah, I think it was an old Remington 270. This deer come out, big doe. I shoot her. She folds. I eject the shell and slide it or push another one in. Click the safety out or back on, and when I did that, the gun went off again.
Oh, did you have was the trigger really light?
No, so it come to find out that model of gun, there was a safety recall on them. We found that after.
Is it Remington?
What's that? It was model 700.
Oh shit! What year was this approximately? You think?
Oh Jesus! Off the top of my head, early 2000s.
Early 2000s. That's a little too early, I feel like, because Remington they went through a pretty long period of having pretty shoddy work with rifles. Honestly,
yeah, it might have been later than that.
Yeah,
model, year of the gun, but I know I was only 11 or 12, so that would have put it 2012 area, and he bought it right around then. So.
Oh yeah, okay, that'd be right in that wheelhouse then. Because Remington they've had a tough go of things in the past, like probably 10, 15 years or so, where they got sued pretty badly for a mass shooting that happened, which is crazy. And then they also had another lawsuit happened with who was it? I think don't quote me on this, but I think it was with a silencer company or something like that they bought, and they did some weird shit, and he sued them and won a bunch of money. So they went through some hardships there for a little bit, and their fucking customers, like not customer service, their geez, Jake, holy shit, quality control. So they kind of went to shit for quite a while. It's been a long road to recovery. They had to sell off. I think they sold because they owned Marlin for a while there, and they sold Marlin to Ruger, which now Marlin's now under Ruger's ownership. They rule. I will say that. But when Marlin was owned by Remington, is during that time frame where their quality control really suffered, and they kind of sucked. Like I had a Marlin 1895 lever action 4570 that just was not it just wasn't that great. And it was in that time frame. But I think Remington's coming out of it now. I think they're really starting to turn things around. I had Who, he's a YouTuber, and he works with Remington quite closely. And after talking with him and stuff, he's like, yeah, they're trying to pull out of the hole, and their quality control has gotten a lot better, and their products they're coming out with are way better. And honestly, it is like a blessing in disguise, them liquidating and getting rid of some of these other smaller companies that they owned, like Marlin and those kinds of things, so they could focus on Remington as a brand again. But yeah, no, that's not fun. That's not good. You don't want that. You don't want faulty safeties. You don't want to click a safety back on and then have it fucking fire.
Yeah. No, my dad still doesn't apologize for the ash chew that I got for that one.
Yep.
Which at the time he didn't know either. So yeah, I would have probably reacted similarly too. But
like, hey, dumbass, what the hell?
Oh yeah, that was probably putting it lightly.
Well, you kind of got to do that though as dad, it's like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Hey, why did you just shoot a hole in the blind? Like what the hell's going on, man?
Yeah, and I mean, luckily for me, like I feel like I was always raised for like gun safety, and so like it just shot right almost into the same spot that I just shot the deer in. So like the gun was still pointed. So like it didn't go like somewhere we didn't know where it was at. It was just I literally no more time to just eject the shell, slam the new one in, and I clicked that safety back on and it went off. So the muzzle was still pointed in the deer's direction. Yeah. Thank God.
Well, that's good. I mean, we're laughing about it now because everything panned out safely, but man, that could have been catastrophic. That could have been really bad. So
yep. And I mean, the odds of that happening ever again are probably so slim, but it's just that's why I do what I do with turkeys now.
Yeah, no, I get that. Especially it happening at a young age, that would definitely cause a lasting impression on a young man.
Yeah. Yeah, we still talk about that once a year or so. Every time we go to sighting rifles, we always bring that one.
Has it ever happened again?
No, so that one, I think it was within a few days of that happening. He found out that there was the recall, and he sent it back in, and they corrected it, and it's been good since. So,
oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I mean, even if it is a problem, it hasn't resurfaced since. So.
That's good. That's really good. But that's also one of those things where you really got to harp on, especially kids. When you're getting kids into shooting, which I'm a huge advocate for, is get kids shooting early and get them, trained up as early as possible. So it's just like second nature. But you really got to hammer that safety early early on, like I always keep that fucking gun pointed in the right direction. Never point at anyone. Only, just always make muzzle awareness. That's a huge thing. Is that you never want to point the muzzle near or around any single person. You never want to do that. So it's like hammering that kind of stuff into a young person's mind, and then they just grow up knowing, like, it's just second nature with me too, where it's like wherever I'm around, if I'm handling a weapon or a gun with around other people, it's like you're constantly putting that muzzle in the air to go around something or someone. It's like you never point that. You always got pointed in a safe direction. So that's good. That's good that it happened then when you were young and you knew that stuff. So
yeah, and it's crazy too because like it still happens, and now I pointed out nobody. At least when I grew up hunting, nobody carried binoculars or anything. So, like, your scope was the binoculars.
Oh, sure.
And, yeah, and you can see where I'm going with this. Like, how many times they pointed their loaded weapon at something when they didn't actually know what it was to see what it was.
Yep.
Like, I don't mess around with that anymore. So, if I see it, I'm saying something to somebody because it's not worth it. Because even though it's unlikely, I'd rather it be zero chance than a little bit.
No, I'd say that's probably one thing I'm pretty big on. If I ever see someone like scanning with their rifle up, like using it as a binocular, it's like, put it down. Like, grab your binoculars. And then it's like, if they don't have binoculars, it's like, well, fucking buy something then, because you can't scan with your weapon up. Like, that's crazy. You don't want to do that. The only time that's acceptable is if you're night hunting like coyotes and you're using thermals. Yeah, that's the only time. That's the only time it's acceptable to do something like that. But I just had some of my friends. We had a group podcast on not too long ago, and we're talking about coyote hunting and stuff like that. And they were going into detail about, we all have our sectors of fire, and we don't go outside those sectors of fire, kind of thing. So when you're scanning, you're never scanning past it because you never want to accidentally like, oh shit, there's a person in my thermal. Because if they're in your thermal, then that muzzle is pointed very close to them, if not on them. So,
yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's, and like I've often wondered too, like nobody's really thought twice about it either. That's the scary part up here. Like I got made fun of for the first 2 or 3 years because I was carrying binoculars. They're like, "Oh, well, you have a scope," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's the problem is that I have a scope and that's it." So,
yeah,
just like. You would like to think that a lot of that stuff is common sense, but it's really not.
No, it's not. You see, I've seen a lot of people do that and like just not even think twice about it. It's like, but you're pointing your gun at things that you don't know what they are. You see some movement, you're like, "Ooh, what's that?" And then your adrenaline immediately pumps up, and you're like, "Oh, it's a deer." Then you point your gun at it, and it's like, "Oh shit, no, it's a child."
Yep.
Oh fuck, my bad.
Yeah, and it would be one thing too, like. Maybe I would give a little bit of slack if the guns weren't loaded, but they always are.
Well, but at the same time too, it's like you got to treat every gun as if it's loaded, So even if it's unloaded, it's like it's still not right.
Yeah, there's no good way to accept it, but it's just insane to think that. And I've probably done it, right? Growing up around it, I probably have done it before, but now I understand how unsafe that was. And again, like having that thing was actually probably one of a blessing in disguise because it really made me wake up on the gun awareness and gun safety thing.
Yep. That's actually one thing my dad, when I first started hunting, in Iowa at the time is just shotguns, right? You just shoot slugs, like shotgun slugs. Yeah. So, I asked my dad for a scope a couple times. And he's like, nope. First of all, you don't need them. Second of all, your shotgun doesn't shoot far enough to really justify a scope. That's right. Number one. I'm like, okay. Number two, he's like, that was one thing he said. He's like, you're not going to use it as a binocular. Like we have binoculars. Like you don't need, you're not going to use it for that because it's unsafe. And also you don't need it. So, and he wanted me to learn how to shoot iron sights. He's like, this is a tried and true method. You have to learn how to shoot iron sights before you can even think about optics. So he's never bought me one. Yeah. And that was one of his reasons too, where he's like, you don't want to become dependent on a scope to use as your only source of magnification, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great thing too. Like that's good that he was like that because not everybody is.
I really wanted a scope though. because I thought they looked cool. So I also wanted a bow hunt. That's where the bow hunting is for felons shirt came from. Is the fact that
I love that. I gotta get
yeah.
I freaking love that shirt.
It's a good conversation starter, but that's where that all came from. I asked him for a bow and arrow one day, and then that was what he said. He said bow and
Oh, I didn't know that. That's the first time I've actually heard the story.
Oh, really?
I didn't know it was the thing.
Yeah, yep. No, that's it came from my dad. I was young. I can't remember how old I was, but I asked him for a bow and arrow, and that was part of his explanation of why he's not going to give me a bow and arrows, because he's like, well, we hunt. I can't remember exactly how it came across, but basically it was like, we hunt with guns and bow hunting's for felons. Like, okay.
I did. Did you you've told that, but you've had to have told that before, right? And I'm just not paying attention. You've had to.
I think that's the first time I explained it on this podcast.
No. Yeah. I was something you guys came up with. That's cool that there's an actual origin story behind it.
Yeah. I think I told the story on a working class episode I was on like a long time ago. I think, don't quote me on it, but it might have been when I was sitting in during the Mark Jury podcast. I might have popped it in there during that.
Oh, maybe. I'll have to go back.
So I might have. I can't remember exactly when, but I know for sure I told that story to Kurt and Mark Jury and stuff when we were at the studio. I just can't remember if I was being recorded or not at the time. But
yeah, now that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But that's where it came from. I remember telling Kurt the story. He's like, dude, that needs to be a fucking shirt. I'm like, no, yeah, it does.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. My dad's a character. He's just a very staunch gun guy. Like, he's always been a avid 2A guy, huge gun. He just always loved guns. That's been a huge factor in the politics that he's chosen to support, right? So he's like, he's always been, it always came back to like, are they going to try to take my guns away or not, kind of thing. That's who we're voting for. So that's kind of where I guess my love of guns came from, is from him. And then, it's not the reason why I joined the military, but it had a lot to do with it, where it's like, I get to shoot a lot of cool guns. That'd be fun. So
yeah, I hate that. That's a very respectful.
Yeah. So, before we go, what do you have any big turkey season plans this year, or like, do you have any big goals, or what do you got? You just gonna go sit out there and see what happens, or?
So yeah, I mean, every year I talk about it. This year's not gonna happen because I'm actually getting married this year, and we've moved. Like we finally bought our forever home. I hope. I'm done moving. We've moved too many times. So I just don't have like the vacation time to take really any trips this year. So it's going to be just PA and New York, because I literally live 5 minutes from the New York border, so it's super convenient. So I can hunt 2 states times. So yeah, no, it's probably just going to be PA, New York, and unfortunately working days. That's the only time that it sucks. We can only hunt till noon the first half of the season in PA, and then it goes all day. But New York is till noon all season, so I really don't get into it a ton up until you can start hunting them all day in PA. Obviously, I get weekends, but anymore it's been, especially since I started making calls and stuff, I get to go with a lot of other people, so I don't really get to spend as much time hunting myself as what I used to. So no, I said it actually. I was on a different podcast here a couple weeks ago. I said my goal for the season is I want one really good hunt on film. Like, I want to film myself killing a turkey and get like the entire thing, because I've been messing around with filming for about 4 years now too, and I'm now kind of starting to do stuff with that footage. So my goal for the year is just make myself a little bit better at that and get some hunts on film.
Nice. That'd be cool, dude. You put them out on YouTube or anything, or?
Yeah, I started to. I actually don't have any of the turkey videos. Like, I haven't posted any of them just because I've been so stubborn on learning how to edit.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody else. So this year I finally forced myself to, and it's very, you can tell that I'm new at it. We'll say that.
Dude, it's difficult.
I had every deer that I shot this year, I got some footage of it. So that was cool. And a couple of them were actually pretty insane that I got the footage, because 2 of them, I think, I was just sneaking out through the woods and happened to run into deer.
Oh, nice.
So like, it was kind of cool. And everything that I do is self-film. Like, I don't have anybody film with me. It's just me, camera. And it's got to become a part of me. If I don't take that camera in the woods, I almost feel like I might as well not even go, just because it's taught me so much. I mean, there's stuff that I don't even realize is happening. I go back and watch the footage.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's really cool. I'm probably gonna get into recording some this year. I should actually. I really need to do that. I just stuttered like Joe Biden really bad there, but I do need to get more into recording and stuff. And I'm actually taking my nephew back out. I took him out last year and got him a really nice tom last year. Actually, that was another spot and stock. Talk about spot and stock and fucking turkeys with your nephew with you. That shit was hard as hell. That was so awesome. Hard, but we did it, dude. It was awesome. We cut these turkeys off, and I sat back and I was calling, and I saw him pop up over, and I was trying to tell him which one to shoot, and he's not understanding me. I'm like, "Do you see them?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "What the fuck, dude? They're like 20 yards away. Like there's like 3 red heads right there, dude." Then he finally saw him. He shot one, and thankfully he made a good shot. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that was amazing!" And then we just had a huge hug and stuff, and it was a really special moment. But he's hooked now. He's like, "That was awesome. That was the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. Like, I'm going to do this all the time." I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. So I'm taking him back out this year. Yeah, hopefully get him another turkey. And then my brother, he said he's going to get back out and he wants to go turkeying with me this year. So I'm going to hold him to that. So I'll probably try recording like them and stuff and get some of that stuff on camera. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing. And that's like, not to go off on another tangent, but getting kids into it, man, that's like, I don't know if there's a more rewarding feeling.
Oh, I don't think there is.
I know my brother. So my little brother, I'm actually, I have 4 siblings, but my littlest brother, he's 12, and the kid's like a little mini me at this point. He just follows everything that I do. And it's crazy because we all grew up the same, essentially. Like, we all grew up hunting and fishing. But like, I'm the only one that kind of stuck with it and doing anything about it. And now my little brother's, he's following in my footsteps, and it's the coolest thing ever. So it's going to be a pretty big priority for me as well to get him on a bird. Awesome. We've actually been super successful. I think we've done the youth hunt, because the PA does the youth hunt the weekend before the regular season opens. Mm-hmm. And we went up the creek for a while where he killed 3 birds. And they were all good birds too. And then he's on a little bit of a dry spell, so he had a chance to kill a really big bird. And last year was like the first year I didn't really help him at all. Like, I kind of was like, "All right, buddy, it's on you." And I sat with him, and actually my dad was running the camera on that one, and it was a good hunt. He just wasn't able to get the shot. So that was like the first time that he had a little bit of a taste of defeat. So it kind of made him hungrier to kill one this year. So that's, if I don't kill one, but we can get him on one, that's just as rewarding as me getting one myself. So that's probably going to be the goal. I'd rather see the youth get into it, because I mean, after us, that's what's left. So we got to keep the end there, because that's how we're going to lose it, is if we don't keep promoting it.
Exactly. And it's one of those things too, where it's like you get people into it and everything else, and you never know when, the next, Mark Drury is going to come from, exactly. A guy like that, or like super influential person that promotes things and does awesome things with their lives. You never know when that person is going to pop back up, because there was a time where Mark Drury or Michael Waddell, like some of these big time like turkey hunters and fucking just hunters in general, there was a time in their lives where they sucked ass and they were learning, right? And someone had to teach them everything they knew. And, you never know when you're going to touch someone like that and they're going to become something like really, either really special, or even if they don't, then they just take what they learned and carry it throughout their lives, and it gets to enrich their life, and those memories stick with them for the rest of their lives, and, change them, I guess, for the better. So,
yep. Yeah. And that's another reason why, like, the turkey calls itself, because, like, as a hunter myself, and obviously we talked earlier in the podcast about like how I'm trying to promote it, but me making the calls is like just a way that I have influence on somebody else's success. So it's kind of cool for me to be able to say like, holy crap, there's a potential for me to have an impact on somebody's hunt in like 28 different states right now. And to me, that is the coolest thing in the world. So like, again, I'm all about promoting this thing. I'm all about getting people into it. And I know some people are against that, but not me. I'm not ever going to be like that because in my opinion, I'm not going to stop somebody from possibly going down the same path that I did, or maybe even you did, or somebody else. Because again, if not for hunting, for me, I can't tell you where I'd be right now. So,
no, I'm super big on getting people into it. You know, the only thing I'm anti, is if they get into it through like a BHA pint night, then I'm like, yeah,
well, I'm with you.
Hate to put it that way, but it's like, it really does depend on who gets you into it, and if I agree with it or not. And that's wrong of me for sure, but I don't care. That's a fault of mine that I'm probably never going to fix. So it's like, if I don't, if someone that I don't necessarily respect gets other people into it then it's like, it's hard to, I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's a fault of mine. BHA, I'm sure they're doing great things, and they are doing good things, you know, but those, like, I can't help but fucking want to pull my hair out whenever I see like one of those pint night like speeches and stuff. I'm like, what is going on here, dude? What is going on here? This is so weird.
Yeah, you want to see people get into it for the right reasons, at least.
Yeah, I don't know, weird stuff's going on there, but I don't know. I think that's great. What you're doing is great, and you should definitely continue to get people out there, especially young people, because you're exactly right. Like, that's how we keep this thing going and keep hunters out in the field and advocating for this type of lifestyle that we love and we've gotten such enrichment from.
Yeah, couldn't myself. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think it's probably a pretty good place to cut it. We've been hitting an hour and 37 in, so I don't want to take your whole night here. But is there anything you wanted to close with? Like, where can people find your calls or find you or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually starting to try to become like, not really like a personality, but I'm starting to improve on my social media game. So you can find me on pretty much all the apps: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I've got all of them. And now this year I finally got myself a website. So the website is www.findawayoutdoors.shop. And that's pretty much it. And then I think I even have my cell phone number on pretty much all of those. So I want to be accessible to the people who are interacting with my stuff. That's kind of the whole point of me doing it. So that's it. Like I said, a lot of people will say it, but I'm truly just out here trying to promote it because it's what I love, and I want other people to experience it. So,
hell yeah,
pretty simple.
That's beautiful. Love it. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on again, Garret, and hopefully you have some good luck out there, and hopefully you can kind of get some of these calls going and, you know, chase your dream, man. That's awesome. I love seeing it.
Definitely appreciate you having me. This was a blast. So it was an honor.